comments. I would like to get some interaction going. So would love to be able to go over a few things with you guys that I think would be very useful. What's up, Shedrick? Hey, appreciate the value that I see a lot of you guys. I see you guys out there adding value to people. And so wanted to make sure that we're able to give you guys something that is going to help you on every single call that you ever have. Every single time you're dealing with somebody out there, whether it be you don't even have to be in insurance. You could be dealing with somebody that isn't even somebody you're selling a product to. First of all, I just want to make a disclaimer here. There are no silver bullets. There's not like a one phrase or one size fits all that you can just say every single time and it's just going to work like pure gold. So, we can sit here and we can have our objections and rebuttals printed off from the best salespeople in the world, but that does not mean that it's going to work 100% of the time. In fact, I don't know anybody that has a 100% closing ratio. If you meet them, then you let me know. I'd love to talk to them so I can learn from them, right? So the one thing that you'll see like when you're new is that and this doesn't have to be for new people. Like, I just want to be straight up with you. 3,000 policies, 6 years career, Medicare, life insurance. I would say 90%, 95% of what I've done has been life insurance, final expense, term, simplified issue, just easy to get on the books. You don't have to go through a blood test or medical exam. And what I've learned in that time period was when I very first started, I had to make a lot more calls to get the same amount of things I can get done today with a fraction of the calls. That doesn't mean that you should lower your activity, which is the most important thing at all times, but it does mean that you should absolutely be able to get more for your time as you progress, right? You can't compare your day one or day, even 150 to the guy's day 2000. That's just not fair, but you can pick up some nuggets and learn a couple things. And one of them is going to be, how can I go from 1 out of 10 on every call that I'm talking to? How can I help more than 1 out of 10 presentations, right? So I'm going to give you some key metrics that helped me get started. Yeah, if you guys could, hi Liz, hi Valerie, Zach, all you guys, if you would you comment in the chat where you're from? Like, where do you live right now? So throw that in the chat for me. I'd love to see, what region you're in, and even maybe what type of agent that you are. Like, what's your name is already there, where you're from, and then what is your primary source of revenue? Is it final expense? Is it term? Is it mortgage protection? Do you sell auto? So throw that in the chat. And then what I wanted to run by you was, how can I go from serving 1 out of 10 to making it 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10? The numbers that always have served me well is to minimally hit 200 contacts a day. That does not mean 200 dials. That means 200 people that I reached out to. And in final expense, what works is to triple dial the client all the way to voicemail. You triple dial the client all the way to voicemail. Now, I do want to share with you a little strategy, okay? Of course, frequency is always the most important thing in repetition, right? We know that. But nowadays, in 2025, your creativity has to be a little bit higher, be a little bit more. It's not back in 1972 when you could pick up a phone and just start dialing out of a phone book and eventually, make some sales. Because that is what some agents did do back in those time periods. I know because I worked for one of them, and he runs a $50 million company. And what I wanted to share with you is, when you get a Facebook lead, you have a cell phone. Don't be afraid to use it. Text the client, hey, Betty, it's Griffin. Boom, call the client. Now, instead of it saying spam likely or, unknown, or the state that you're from, or maybe they have caller ID and maybe it shows your name. You should set that up, by the way. Creativity follows commitment. When you're committed, a lot of creativity is going to follow. So now when you're calling Betty, it's like, maybe Griffin. It pops up on their smartphone. Maybe Griffin's calling me. If they have an iPhone, even better. If you have an iPhone and they have an iPhone, you can have it sharing your contact data where it gives them all your phone numbers, your email, puts a picture of you, and then now they're like, okay, this is a real guy or a real lady calling me, right? So that's what I've learned on the initial contact. Like they just filled out the form, bam, text them first. Hey, Betty, it's Griffin. It's going to say maybe Griffin. Now I'm dialing her. Triple dial to voicemail. She just filled out a form on Facebook. She didn't pick up. Let's leave her a voicemail. Why not? What do we have to lose, right? And then I want to call her again in 2 or 3 hours, three more times. And then I want to call her again in 3 or 4 times, not 4 times necessarily. If they're rejecting my call, I'm not afraid to call them a fourth time, by the way, even a fifth time. And they might even say, "What?" I mean, I swear I can count on two hands the amount of times I've had someone be very upset with me for calling them too much. I mean, initially there may be a little like, "What do you want?" And then they find out it's you. Your voice comes on the line, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just getting a lot of calls. I didn't mean to yell at you." That's that's usually how it goes, right? So I see the phone services do matter. Like you do want to go onto your carrier. I'm seeing right here that you need to change phone services. Yes. And hey, you might even need to have a second phone, man. Because if you don't have a second phone, then your phone's going straight to voicemail. How do you know if you're blocked or not? Well, I've called a person off of my work phone. It was going straight to voicemail off my cell phone. And then at the same time, it was going to voicemail. I'm like, man, either their phone's off or I'm blocked. But I'm going to just default to the fact that I'm probably blocked. Sometimes their phone is off. If you call them from a second number straight to voicemail, rest assured you're not blocked. But if it goes straight to voicemail on the second phone or doesn't go, then it's going through. Now you're calling them again. Now you're back into communication. And then it's like, hey, Betty, I know you're probably getting hammered with phone calls. If I was somebody like you, I would probably just start blocking everybody because I don't know who it is. And you're probably fed up with it. And so I just wanted to put myself out there and let you know that I'm the guy from Facebook. This was just yesterday, or this was just today, or last week. Recently, you can just use the word recently. You wanted to see what your options were to protect your family. Does that kind of ring a bell? If you want to work with somebody who really knows what they're doing, who has unlimited access to all the carriers out there, can get you the lowest cost with the most amount, we can save you the time and hassle of having to talk to 15 different people to get the same information that one guy can give you. Give me a call. Like, you can't be afraid to exercise that it's a bit aggressive, but not really. You know what I mean? And you have to work. It's like a gym muscle. Like every day, you're gonna get better or you're gonna get worse. There is no stay the same. You're either getting staying the same actually means you're gonna get worse because nothing stays the same. So you have to be working on that muscle every single day because it will get weak. I don't care if you've been doing this for 5 years or 5 months and now you think you're the best. You have to exercise that muscle, and that's the baseline for everything else we could talk about. We could talk about the most magical line or phrase that you could say to close a deal, but it really doesn't matter if you never call anybody or you don't know what to say when someone's like, I'm a veteran. I don't need insurance. I'm a veteran. Well, if you've called a few veterans or you know anything about life insurance, final expense, burial, you know that veterans 98, 99% of the time do not get a free burial. And newsflash, I'm a veteran. I was in the Navy for 5 years. Um, David probably didn't know that. David was a veteran. So David knows, even if he was in Iraq, Afghanistan, 2 tours, he does not get free burial unless he's 100% disabled during wartime. That is a totally irrelevant, almost irrelevant topic, but it is something you're going to face if you're calling enough people. And you would never know that information if you didn't have a lot of conversations with a lot of people. right? So you want to follow people that not only sold at a high level, but are still selling. Not I sold 10 years ago and it's someone who's had thousands of sales. And then now they're seeing other people that they've helped get sales. So it's not only what they know, but who are they duplicating their success into. So you have to watch where you get your information from. So for example, I'll give you one example. A person that I like and his sales strategies that we use at our current agency is Jeremy Miner. But Jeremy Miner doesn't sell life insurance. But he does know about sales. He does know what he's talking about. Dana Neeson, she's someone out there in the space. She still sells. So maybe some of the things that she says could be slightly tweaked or better than the guy who doesn't sell life insurance. Just keep that in mind when you're seeking out information on YouTube or at these random different places. So now I'm going to get into it, right? So the greeting, right? The number one thing that you face if you can't get into a conversation more than 2 to 3 minutes in, then you're never going to get into a presentation. Therefore, you're never going to close a deal. So I find that a lot of agents struggle with the greeting because they grant too much importance to the first 2 to 3 minutes of the call. Almost anything in the first 2 to 3 minutes can almost be completely disregarded. What do I mean by that? So when you walk into a store and a person that works there comes up to you and says, "Hey, can I help you find anything?" or "What brings you in today?" What do you say? Comment in the chat. What do you say when you walk into a random store and someone comes up to you and they try to tell you something about anything, right? It's "I'm just looking," right? You guys know the answer. Let's go chat. If you're still with me, if you're alive, let's get into the chat. Let's put some comments in there. And I want to see your thoughts and opinions. Any comments that you have, definitely share them with me because I would like to see what's going to help you out, okay? So when you're in the greeting, the person's going to say, "I'm just looking." Or, I mean, they're not going to necessarily say that. Like, as a life insurance agent, it's going to be, "I already have coverage." Um, no, we got that taken care of. I'm not interested anymore. We've just decided we're not going to do it. But they just filled out a form on Facebook. Like, this cost me money. Or you just got the lead card from wherever you're getting your leads from. It's like, no, I get it. And I'd be shocked if you didn't already have something in place. In fact, my best clients do. However, they find this information really valuable. And then just continue with your script. Now, you might say, well, that's not going to work. Try it. You're granting too much importance to what they say. You could honestly just say, "Hey, that's amazing. Good job on getting a policy." I'd be shocked if you didn't already have something in place. The best people that I know already have something. They find this information really valuable. Move forward. All right. You don't have to go into what do you have and how much is it and when did you get it, and it's like if you have to go two or three layers deep, if they repeat the same thing 2 or 3 times, it's probably like, "No, dude, like I literally just got a policy. Like I don't want to get another one. Like you were too late." And that hurts, by the way, when like later on, like you find out they really did genuinely get something and you just didn't act quick enough because you weren't putting in the consistent activity. That hurts, right? You were too late, right? So that's why activity matters. But then as you step forward, I got to get past these first 2 to 3 minutes. How am I going to do it? So we have you want to have this stuff printed out. I don't care if I've been doing this for 6 years. I've got it printed out in a sleeve, in a binder. So that way, we can get rusty, man. Like there was a while where I switched to a different industry and I did something different for a few months. I don't advise that, by the way, after you've been doing this for a few years, but I got rusty and then I kind of forgot that all these things that worked for me this entire time, I thought maybe things had changed. It's 2025, technology, phone calls, Facebook, AI, you know, but no, it's still the same. You still need to triple dial people all the way to voicemail. You still need to call them multiple times a day. You still need to be assertive and help them and not let them off the phone until you do. So number one, when you call somebody, you're going to have the objection, like, "I don't have time right now. Like I'm on my way out of the door," right? Like if you've ever heard, like how many doctor's appointments do people really have, right? Like have you ever Put Do me a favor, guys. Put a one in the chat if you've ever had somebody tell you, "I got to go to the doctor right now. Can you call me back later?" Put a one in the chat if you've ever heard that. Put a I want you to put a 10x in the chat if you've heard it more than 10 times. And if you've been doing this a long time, I want you to put 1,000 in the chat if you've heard it more than 100 times. Just do it, just for fun. I've heard I need to talk. I got to go to my doctor. I got to talk to my kids. You can throw a one in the chat if you've. I got to talk to my kids about this. Yeah, I mean, my son's only 23, but I got to talk to him. I got to make sure it's okay with him. It's just a lack of certainty in what you're doing. It's just a lack of trust or certainty, right? Additionally, dude, I just sat down. I'm watching my favorite show right now called The Price is Right with Drew Carey, not Bob Barker. And I I have to watch it right now because like this life insurance stuff that I've put off for 20 years, that can wait. I need to watch The Price is Right or Family Feud. You can literally hear the Wheel of Fortune going in the background while they're telling you that they're about to leave for the doctors, right? So you never want to accept anything in the first 3 minutes at face value, right? Let's move past that for a second, okay? So the reps are going to get you really strong and creative and different than everybody else that's out there. I'm going to give you guys a quick tip that I think is going to change the game for you, okay? You don't need to call everybody and, "Hey, Bobby, this is John. I'm just giving you a quick call here from the Price Group. And the reason I was calling you was you filled out a form on Facebook. It had to do with the state regulated insurance quote request. You mentioned that your beneficiary would be your daughter, Teresa. There's so many things wrong with what I said there. It's not the worst thing in the world if it's like your first day, but it certainly could improve, right? Not only the tone, but you could be a little bit different. I'm not trying to tell you to change too much, but what if you're just like, I'm going to give you a quick one real quick, okay? This is what's worked for me for years, okay? I'm going to throw this at you real quick. So let's just say, I know we got Sullivan. He's got the awesome, I've seen him call out of his office. He's got a really nice little home office that he works out of. Jordan, right? So ring ring. Hi, Jordan. Yeah. Who's this? Hey, Jordan. This is Griffin. How you doing over there? I'm doing good. What do you need? Oh, yeah, I was just giving you a quick call here from the other day. You might remember being curious to see what your options were to protect I think it's your daughter. Her name is Teresa. You want to sound almost like a little bit like a confused tone. Like, I'm just trying to make sure I got this right. Is Teresa your daughter? Yeah, that's my daughter. What about? Is this about insurance? Yes and no. It just has to do with protecting your family. It could be called a few different things. Yeah, but is it insurance? It's life, it's final expenses, whole life, burial. Well, I already got life insurance, so were you needing burial? Yeah, I just need something to cover my burial. You didn't expect that, did you? You know what I mean? Because the person, don't shoot yourself in the foot and limit yourself to what you can offer. You're not just a life insurance agent. You're not just a burial agent. You're not just a quote guy or lady. You are somebody who's here that's different than everybody else out there because you work with an organization that's hopefully not just, they're providing you with training. They're providing you with a great culture and a great people that surround you. And so when you're around that culture, you got to hold yourself accountable, but the others around you are probably going to be holding you accountable to showing up every day, putting your camera on when you're working virtually, being to all the in-person meetings if they have them, going to the events, working on Saturdays, working after 5, 6, 7, 8 at night, calling the people that live in California when it's 11 at night. Raise your hand, put something in the chat if you've ever closed a deal on Saturday night or Sunday night after 10 p.m. and you live in Central, Mountain, or Eastern time zone. If you've ever done that, because there's been weeks where, I had a competition, like there was a bonus. I mean, these carriers offer bonuses. Do you know what the bonuses are? You want to strive for that target, and that's going to motivate you. And underneath that, why am I dialing in the first place? Hopefully, it's not just because you want to make a dollar. What is the dollar going to bring for you? What is it going to get you? That's going to prop up everything else and get you into more presentations, which is the next point we want to talk about, right? So you can't present anything if you don't know what their needs and wants are. So you need to get out of non-existence with the person that you're talking to. You're in non-existence with every single person you call until you know what their needs and wants are. Now you can just assume what they are, but do you really know, right? So number one, find a way to communicate with them. Hey, maybe they'll respond to a text. You can get some text going. Hey, can we jump on a call real quick? It'll only take 5 minutes. I just want to make sure that I'm getting you all the plans and discounts that you qualify for. Get on the call with them. Hey, so what was, if you don't mind me asking, Mary, what was the main reason why you decided to do this now? Well, we just lost our cousin last week. He was really close with me. We grew up together, and they didn't have anything. And actually, the family had to come together and pull up money for them, and it was very stressful. Plus, we were all really upset about the fact that we had obviously lost, someone really close to us. And I just don't want my kids to go through that. You have to bring that out of the client on every single call. Do you have anything? Sorry to hear about your loss. That must be really tough. I can only imagine what it's like to be in your position. Um, do you have anything specifically in place for your final expenses? The best clients already have something in place, by the way. They already got something in place. That's great. My best clients always have more than one policy, by the way. And then you just go from there, right? So, but that's fact finding. So we're really just kind of focusing on three simple topics today, okay? Now I want to back up for a second, okay? And what I want to do, did you know that if you get 20 apps in a quarter, I believe they were doing a much bigger bonus for Corebridge. They might have changed it, but last quarter, the bonus was $2,000 for 20 apps, SIWL, in a single quarter, simplified issue whole life. Um, so that's 8 grand a year in bonuses you could make back last year, 8 grand in total, 2 grand a quarter, for 20 apps. That's nothing. That's like, because the average agent, I think they write less than 2 to 4 apps a month, like the average agent. So who are you surrounded by? How many policies are they writing? It doesn't matter how long someone's been in the business. Ask them how many policies they've written. Maybe they can even show you. Did they track it? That's important. The guy that's only sold 100 policies versus the guy that sold 1,000, big difference. Big difference there, right? You want to shoot for 10, 2 apps a day, 2 to 3 apps a day will keep the bill collector away. Minimum. That's a minimum. 6 apps a day if you want to go like crazy awesome. I mean, the most I've done in a day, I believe, is only 5. But I've had multiple 5 apps a day days. I've had $18,000 weeks and I've had $60,000 months. Now, there's obviously way better people out there that have done 100, 120 in a month. I've seen it. I've seen an agent do 10 grand in a day. So, and that was legit, like legit good business, stayed on the books, high retention. But this was a field agent. So how committed are you? If this person lives in your area, are you willing to drive out there to them and see them? Are you willing to share your screen and let them see what's going on? There's a way to do that. Are you willing to FaceTime a client? Are you willing to take a selfie video and send it to the client? Hey, Betty, this is Griffin. Hey, just wanted to put a face to the name, let you know I'm a real guy here, and that I do actually want to help you get something in place and actually get you the right information from the people who have it to the people who need it. All right, I know you're probably getting a lot of phone calls. If someone sounds really crispy, hey, Betty, are you getting a lot of calls? Yeah. How do you deal with it all? I usually just hang up on them or I don't answer. Or, you're lucky I even answered your call. I know, and I appreciate you picking up for me. Thanks for doing that. But I'm not from overseas, and I'm not here to sell you a free cruise or a dealership warranty. what I am calling you about, go right back into your script. So those are some things you can do to shake things up. If you want to break, these people are just doing this all day long on a repeating loop. So you got to break the loop. You have to break the cycle, and you have to make sure that you do something just a little bit different to throw them off of what they hear so often. It would be a disservice for me to not at least check and make sure that you have the best plan in the United States. I work with dozens of carriers, some of the ones you've already heard of, name off some of them, and I can look at all of them at the same time, side by side for you. I can see who's going to give you the lowest cost with the most amount from someone that's 100 plus years old. That way you don't have to talk to 15 different people to get the same information that one person can give you. So you just want to shake it up. I've been a little bit in a few different places, but again, it's just like, every single day we're faced with ridiculous things that clients say that aren't necessarily true. And are you going to be like everybody else that's out there? Or are you going to be an expert, a professional who doesn't hesitate? Lastly, if you're a new agent and you're watching this, I just wanted to throw one last thing at you. Get that script and read it so many times in front of you that you have it memorized and you still keep it in front of you. Like I had agents that were like, "No, I don't keep the script in front of me. It's like their second month." And then and look, I don't even like to call it a script. I like to have it more of like a conversation. The purpose of having that is so you can have a stable foundation. Even me, like I need to have a foundation to work off of. That way I don't miss something important and then later it costs me in some way negatively. Like on my script, I might need a little reminder that like make sure you ask for referrals at the end after you've serviced them. Maybe it's, filling out the Medicare referral form and serving them on their Medicare and making some passive income while you're sleeping from another agent who's going to deliver excellent service and value to the client. Maybe you don't even have that at your agency, but it's a nice little bonus if you can serve almost every life client you have that's over 50, most likely has Medicare. Okay. So that's an opportunity to refer to a Medicare partner and they'll give you a gift card or they'll give you a bonus or they'll give you leads. Or maybe actually what's really cool is when Medicare agents start calling you, I've had them do this, and giving me people that needed life insurance. That's fun. Like that's when it gets exciting because now your lead cost goes down tremendously. And last but not least, just to close this out, we've got a few minutes left. If I could bring you guys into the chat, I would. I want to see anything that you're dealing with that you need help with. Like, give me one thing right now that you're facing that if I could help you with it, you feel like it would change the game for you. What would it be? I don't care what it is. It could be an objection. It could be motivation. It could be uh, goals. I will tell you one thing while I'm waiting for somebody to comment in the chat. Yeah. So one thing, Brian, thanks for the comment. Brian said, can you repeat how you phrase about not being just life insurance or burial? I've had clients where they're like, is this life insurance? I'm like, yes. Okay, I don't need life insurance. Click. But when I learned how to do better, because it's not like you're not a bad person. You're not terrible. You're being honest. Honesty is the best policy. But sometimes you can shoot yourself in the foot. Like it's the same reason why quoting someone in the first 3 minutes, even 7 minutes, I don't agree with it necessarily. There are certain times with like very A-type individuals who you can tell like they're super healthy. I want a 30-year term. I want it to be $80 a month. I don't mind if they come draw my blood. That kind of guy, you might just, hey, yeah, I can get you, $1 million term for $200 a month. I mean, what that kind of person is different. Like that's very rare, by the way. So let's just put that off to the side. You're not just a life insurance agent. These people are either looking for life insurance, they're looking for burial, they're looking for cremation, They're looking for extra money for their kids, or they're looking for a loved one. Which one is it for you? I've already got life insurance. I've actually gone so deep and down the rabbit hole. So you've got layer one. Hey, most people I talk to already got something in place, but they find this information really valuable. Continue with your script. But then you keep hearing it. It's like, okay, Betty, how long ago have you got that policy? I got it last month. That's awesome. Would it be a terrible idea if I just took a look at all of the dozens of options I have here in front of me and make sure that you got the most that your money can give you? Because my clients live on a fixed income. I don't know about you, Betty, but my clients, they're retired. They're not usually working anymore. But I am still working, so I guess this is no, wait a minute. You're better off than most of the people that I speak with on a daily basis if you're still working. Why? Because you make more money than they do. My clients are living off Social Security, disability. Thank God you're still able to work. Literally, like, be grateful. You should be grateful. Now, again, going back to what is this about? This is about protecting your family. Yeah, but is it life insurance? It isn't just life insurance. It's a few different things. Okay, let me tell you what they are, because you know how they want to interrupt you and cut you. Just tell me what it is. It's final expenses, whole life, burial, cremation. It's money for your family. Now ask him a question. Ask him a question immediately. Were you just thinking about yourself, for yourself and a loved one, or just a loved one? I don't want to get too complicated. Were you looking for money for just yourself or a loved one? Myself. 90% of the time, they're going to say myself. If they're looking for somebody else, you're talking to the decision maker. It's probably a wife who's very responsible and detail oriented, who's getting her stubborn husband to get a policy because he won't even talk to an insurance agent. I have sold a lot of those. All right, let's go to the next question. Hold on, let's see here. Someone that needs to talk to their spouse next day hasn't yet. So, first of all, um, if your husband was with us right now, by the way, how long have you guys been married? We've been married for 30 years. That's fantastic. Congratulations on being able to do that. Um, I'm not there yet, but I hope to be there one day. And compliment them. That should be validated, by the way, in a country where more than half of all marriages end in divorce. So that's a big deal, right? My grandparents were married for 64 years. I've heard people on the phone beat that 70 years, 75 years. That's amazing. But then, if your husband was with us right now, what do you think he would say? Now, when they're really just kind of putting you off, they're going to say, well, I don't know. Mary, come on. You've been married for 30 years and you mean to tell me you don't know what he would say? Well, I think he would say that, it's a good deal and we should do it. Fantastic. Well, if it's a good deal and we should do it, then do you think he would be, if you drove out that, do you still drive? I still drive. Yeah, all the time. If you went out that door and God forbid, heaven forbid, knock on wood, you got hit by a teenage drunk driver and they swerved into your lane and hit and killed you, would he be upset or grateful that you got the policy for him? It's a muscle, man. You got to work that muscle. Like, I don't care if you can squat 500 pounds. Some people can squat 500 pounds and cannot do what we do. And that is a fact. I know people that can dig ditches all day long and be out in the 100-degree weather, but they can't make 200 phone calls. And they can't say the right thing at the right time to the right person because they just don't put in the same effort on the phone because they're 1099 as they do when they're a W-2. So that is, um, yeah, it's very typical. Liz Anderson says, "Yep, that's typical. Wife taking care of the details for the stubborn husband." If you look at all the clients I've sold and we were to sort it by male or female, I guarantee you it's like 70% female and 30% male. It might even be like 80% female. I actually need to check that sometime. So women have a very special care factor, and that's actually probably why I think, in my opinion, if you're a woman, you have an advantage. Now, women also have a disadvantage. Well, I think that they're trusted more, but women, and this hopefully this isn't going to offend anybody here, but if it does, so be it. I think it's a good thing. Women are trusted more on average, in my opinion, but I also think that men who are old and lonely will talk to a woman just because they're a woman and they want to talk to a woman and they don't get to anymore, right? So you have to watch out for that because they can kill your time and waste your time. So there is a positive and a negative to everything, right? It's just going to depend on how you use it. All right. So any other questions? Getting organic leads versus buying them. You should be buying leads while you get organic leads. Do it all. There are 24 hours in a day. If you sleep for 8 hours and you're awake for 16, what are you doing with that time? You should set on your calendar every single day to find a way to get organic leads. Referrals, not just referrals, but posting on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, YouTube. Make a YouTube video. Um, outflow. Outflow is going to be way more remunerative. It's going to pay you more than inflow ever could. You do need to train every single day, by the way. And that's one thing that every time I train every day, people will look at me like, there's no way you train every day. Like, even on Sunday? Absolutely. And because when I don't, man, my income goes down, right? So you want to be sourcing organic leads while you're buying leads from people who requested the information. Someone that needs to talk to spouse that hasn't yet, client retention. You also want to get the spouse on the line if you can after you've sold the wife. Hey, John, you know your wife got you a policy the other day? Yeah. Well, look, I just wanted to let you know, like, if I could shake your hand right now, I would, but we're on the phone. But I just wanted to like talk to you man to man and just let you know, like, your wife got you a policy yesterday because she cares about you. Is that something you're okay with? Yeah, I'm okay with that. Good, because she's protecting you and the family. And if you need any information from me, you want my cell phone number? Nah, nah, it's fine. She's got it. Now you know you're not. He's not, distrusting you. Also, I really wanted to have, just so you know, if you're still watching, I have this microphone here, but for some reason it didn't connect right before the chat, and it wouldn't let me change it. So I really didn't want to wear this ridiculous headset. But the cool thing about this $300 headset is not that it's expensive and I can tell you how expensive it is. It's because I can hear everything when the client's in the background. Who is that on the phone, mom? It's like, who are you talking to? Don't give him your bank account. Like, that's why I have the headset. I'm like, if I hear the son at any point, who's that in the background? That's my son. Oh, cool. His name's Jerry. What's his name? Jerry. Do you want to involve Jerry in this conversation, by the way? Um, so just little things like that. Also, you'll notice I don't have Bluetooth. Why? Because I don't want to lag on the conversation. I also have the fastest internet that I can buy in Miami, Florida. It's like a 2G fiber optic in-ground cable. There is no lag. If there's a lag, it's the client's fault, not mine. You know what I mean? So just give yourself every opportunity to succeed and not to fail. I'm a little bit over time, but I just want to see any other questions. The question I got from Rome is, what are you doing to train every day? Are you running calls in your head? Are you reading your script every day? Rome, typically what I'm doing at this point in the game is I'm staying fresh and sharp on people that I know that are leading industry experts that are probably better than me and listening to them. Like, if someone's outselling you, you could say that technically they're better, right? I would want to listen to someone that's better than me, where I'm like, oh man, like I need to stay sharp. Running calls in your head, I don't think is ever a good idea. I think you should be saying things out loud and verbalizing it. Don't sit there in your head. Like, it's like a client telling you, like, I need to think about it. Nobody sits and just thinks about it. What needs to occur is action that's in a forward motion, such as taking a pen and putting it on paper and writing down what you need to do. Johnny said blah, blah, blah. I got thrown off by that. How am I going to fix it next time? And then tomorrow, I'm going to pull aside somebody that knows what they're doing, that I know they know what they're doing because I think they're better than me. And I'm going to drill with them. Hey, do you mind if I just can we role play, dude? Some people are gonna be like, role play? I don't want to role play. And hey, good. If you don't want to role play, you know what that means? You should probably do it anyway, right? Because if you have a, you just got to do it, man. It's not really like whether you want to or not. My one of my best sales days ever, I had a headache and I didn't feel good. The day before, I felt great, didn't have a headache, and made zero sales. So you don't have to feel good to do good, but you might need to go outside and take a walk. Go outside and take a walk and extrovert. You're looking at a thing that's like within a foot, 2 foot of your face all day long. You're going to start to like kind of get a little like dizzy or loopy, or your vision will actually retract. So you want to go outside, walk around, look at some objects. Don't look at your phone while you're walking. Hey, maybe even call your mom and, hey, mom, I haven't called you in a while. Hey, dad, just give somebody you care, maybe give them a call while you're walking around the block, getting some sunlight, right? Something that's good for you. All right, guys. So, um, yeah, just do something that's extroverted. Do something that's outward. There's too much introversion these days. Too many people. I need to go meditate. And hey, if you meditate, I don't have anything against you and what you decide to do. That is your decision, and I will not say anything negatively to you or negatively about that. But I would just recommend to do more outflow. Lastly, so much good advice on what you should do. What are some things you realized you should definitely not do? One of them would be getting upset with the client. I have had times, and I'm being honest, and anyone who says they haven't ever gotten upset with a client and showed it would probably maybe not be telling you the truth. I think we've all been upset before with the client at least once. I know people who sell sales training online and make a lot of money from it that have gotten upset with clients. And you don't want to make a client wrong, right? You can be right. If you want to get someone to shift from where they are to where you want them to go, you're never going to do it by making them wrong. Why? Because I'm going to say this and we're going to close out. What's the highest level of right and what's the lowest level of wrong? Being wrong means you're eating out of a trash can and you're homeless. You're about to die. You're dying. Being right means I live in a gated community. There's security. I have a camera outside to watch at night. My families go to I'd rather put them into like a private school or like a really nice school, not a public school. That's a higher level of being right and survival than down here where you're eating out of a trash can, right? So if you say that they're wrong or you dispute them bluntly, generally, especially if you're trying to sell a product, they're going to try to be right. And by being right, that means you would have to be wrong. And if you're wrong, that means they're probably not going to buy from you. So don't make them wrong for what they believe. Like, are you going to attack them for being a Democrat or a Republican? That would be stupid, right? Why would you do that? If they're a Christian, are you going to like, obviously, you're not going to say anything bad to them about their religion. If they're Buddhist and you're a Christian, are you going to judge them or be negative about their religion? I don't think that that would be very smart, right? So those are some obvious not things to do. Never make the client wrong. Never get upset. You need to stay interested even when they're emotional. In fact, when they're emotional, that means they're even closer to buying than when they're like, no, I don't want to look at it. No, I don't want to look at it. No, I don't want to look at it. When they get emotional and they get angry, that's higher and that's closer to interest than the person who won't even take a look. Okay? So if you ever want to go deeper on any of these topics, let's do it. The transition, okay, I can't help myself. I have to answer this question. The transition to guaranteed life insurance, excited about they want coverage, and you have to explain 24-month. How do you handle that? So, Mary, I've determined that I've got a perfect fit for you. This is going to be the best and only option in the entire country that you can qualify for. Can I tell you how it works? Yeah, of course. Tell me how it works. So, you're not going to kick the bucket on us in the next 24 months, are you? Nope, I'm not going to kick the bucket. I don't know. I don't plan on it. I sure hope not. Well, good. That means you care about life and you want to keep going, and you should. But if God forbid something happens to you in 6 months and you die of a massive heart attack, they're going to give you all your money back plus 10% interest on every payment you've ever made. It's like a high interest savings account for the first 24 months. But hey, look, if you're driving out there and God forbid we lose you in a car accident, slip and fall, hit your head, we lose you, they're going to give you all the money that you're supposed to get immediately. There is not a better option in the country, or I'd be telling you about it. That's how I sell guaranteed issue. I have sold 800, and I'm not like necessarily proud of it, but I've sold like 3,000 policies or more, and I would say like 800 of them have been guaranteed issue. Because back then, when I sold a lot of them, there wasn't this Trans Express stuff. There wasn't like this day one for congestive heart failure. If you had CHF, you were declined with every carrier but Gerber or AIG. That's not the case anymore. COPD smokers, outrageous prices with every carrier, not Mutual of Omaha graded, not AIG, not Corbridge, right? It's reasonable. The reasonable. It doesn't matter if you make more commission if they're going to cancel the policy. Don't write a policy because it's better for your commission. Write a policy that's best for the client. That is your fiduciary responsibility. That is what you opted into when you got that life insurance license. Okay, guys, um, my name's Griffin Henderson. Look me up on social media because I like to give away a lot of things for free. Maybe in several years from now, I'll be able to charge people for it. But I've been in sales my entire life. I worked for Grant Cardone for a year. That's why I live in Miami, Florida. I've been in sales my entire life, and I hope to aspire to build a team that is as large as someone that I really like and aspire to emulate is Mr. David Price. Thank you for inspiring this training. Thank you for making this Facebook group. And you guys have a fantastic and lovely night. I'm out.